SAFER Board of Directors to order, being 5 o'clock. If we could all stand, pledge allegiance to the flag, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Let's see if we could run roll, please, here.
Cronin,
Here.
Colden,
Here.
Langenhan is absent and is excused. Maloney,
Here.
Opal,
Here.
All right, thank you. And we have a new director here, so I'd like to welcome you aboard.
Thank you.
If you want to say something or introduce yourself or anything. I know Al knows.
That's our president, Mark Maloney, also Weston's president. So.
Oh, okay, perfect. Well, I got into this. My wife is the clerk for the village of Rib Mountain, and and so that's the full disclosure side of things, I guess. But she mentioned that there might be an opportunity or an opening, and I expressed a little bit of interest, and Al followed through. We are not from Wisconsin originally. We're originally from northern Minnesota. We grew up watching the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and Minnesota North Stars, not the Vikings, in case anybody wanted to know.
Okay.
And we've lived in Wisconsin for 30 years now.
Oh, excellent. Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, moving forward here. B, correspondence, and this is going to be a short meeting. This is not how they usually are. So, B, correspondence, comments, and anything from the public or anything. Anybody have any public comments of any sort? Anybody online? Hearing none, let's move forward again. Let's see, business item C, 4, discussion and possible action on staffing for adequate fire and emergency response SAFER grant. C for Eric.
So we wanted to bring this back. So we had spoke about this several times over the past few months, which you guys are aware of. And the grant came out the Friday before Memorial Weekend. We started working on it a little bit, but there's been some changes in the grant. The grant was originally going to be 100% funded for the first 2 years, and then the third year was 65, I believe. When the grant came out, the funding is now 75, 75, 35. So the amount that the federal government will pay is substantially lower than we had originally discussed. So Eric and I talked about it. I actually reached out to Mr. Maloney, and we, decided maybe it's best to just have a short meeting to discuss this, and we wanted to get it kind of talked about sooner than later because the grant has to be submitted by July 3rd, so it doesn't give us a ton of time to work on it. These grants are fairly labor intensive. There's a ton of data points over a 3-year period. We have to enter all of our fiscal information over the last 3 years. It's very involved. There's a bunch of narratives that have to be written. It's a fair amount of work. So we wanted to make sure we weren't gonna do the work for the grant, and then the board say that we're not in a position to be able to do the 75, 75, 35, and we wanted to make sure that the board was aware that it was the 75, 75, 35 before we just applied for it.
So it's 75 first year, 75 second year,
35 third year. Yep.
All right. We'll need some numbers on that 75.
Well, so if we're gonna hire 9 people, again, the numbers can vary. We all know the numbers can vary a little bit depending on health insurance, but the number that we've been using is $100,000 per person. It can be a little bit above, it can be a little bit below. There's some variables there, and it depends on their training level when we first hire them. If they're a paramedic, when we first hire them, they make 10% more. If they're in their paramedic program, their wages are a little less. So it can swing back and forth a little bit, but for 9 people, we're looking at $900,000. Is going to be as close as I can estimate it without knowing exactly who we're going to hire.
Are there that many people out there, though?
Well, and we've talked about that.
If we're having trouble finding staff anyway, are there that many people?
I mean, we've talked about that. WASA did their grant for 12 people, and it took them 18 months, but they got the 12 now.
Oh, okay.
And we've been filling our positions. I wouldn't say when we've hired, we haven't had large groups of people that we've had apply. But we've always had applicants, and we didn't hire people just to hire them. We've always had quality applicants that we've hired. And Eric and I talked about that. What we talked about is if the board were to give us their permission to continue on tonight, we've talked about starting to post very soon and say that we're starting a list for anticipated future openings. And then hopefully we can start to recruit over the next several months, because the grant timeline is we will know if we're going to be awarded the grant in September.
Okay. The other question I have to ask, quite often with these government grants, there's a stipulation, or used to be stipulations that they're hired for good then?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Well, no, it's a 4-year program.
Yeah.
So they have to stay on after, so they cover the 75, 35. Year 4, you have to keep them. And then year 5, we can do whatever. But we applied for the SAFER grant in 2018 or 2019. And we were actually awarded the grant, but the discussion by the board at that time was, well, that's great that we were awarded the grant, but we're going to let everybody go year 5. So from our perspective, it's that if that's the case, like I really dislike terminating people,
Well,
and
I
I
don't
really
like
don't
it
want to
either.
do that.
I don't like it either.
yeah, I mean, I think if that's a theory or a potential plan, my concern with that thinking long term is that would make hiring in the future extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Yes.
Understood.
Um,
I just wanted to
There's
know.
no clawback. There's no clawback. I would think there'd be a clawback penalty to so that a municipality or a joint municipality would not be able to do that. I mean, we actually in year 5 could do what we want.
Yes,
That-
and many municipalities have. There's lots of recorded data.
Yeah, that's really dangerous. I mean, who knows what the board's going to look like? Hopefully, like it is right now.
the other
But,
thing. You can, I'm sorry, Mark. The other thing you can do is year 5, you can apply for another grant to maintain that staffing. Now, those are difficult. It would be what I'm going to say is probably unlikely that would be successful, but you can try. You can apply for another, I mean, who knows what will happen 5 years from now, but as of today, you could apply for a grant very similar to the one we're talking about applying for to maintain that staffing that you have. But again, the chances of being successful with those are not great.
In order to do that, you either have to have a termination date, or you have to have recently terminated the employees to get the grant, the continuation grant.
Okay, one of the positive things though would be we could do more transports. True.
Yes.
So there's a source of income.
Yes.
And do we have any idea how many? What would that? If we were to go to full staff, how approximately how many transports would you speculate we would do? I know I'm putting you on.
Speculate's a good word to use.
To piggyback on that, do we have a number as far as how many we've turned down in the past year?
No.
We're turning down on average, I would say 2 a day.
Yeah.
I bet we're on. I mean, I shouldn't say 2. We're probably on average 1.5 a day.
Yeah, I
I
would
bet
say
we're
between
turning
1 and
down
2.
about 4 to 500 transfers a year. We're turning down.
To answer your question, Al, again, this is a little bit of a guess, but I would say in the 350 to 400 a year mark.
Well, just for Aaron being new, there is a revenue side to this
Yes.
too,
Yep.
or possible revenue side to this. Okay.
And it's not on the agenda, but it does pertain to this, is the GEMT money. We have the first year, so 2023 is done and submitted, and our estimated payoff is a little bit over $50,000. So that's so it's not it's not a windfall by any means, but it's $50,000.
So GEMT money is a federal grant where they're reimbursing us for Medicaid, because the Medicare reimbursement is about 2/3.
Yeah.
And then Medicaid is about 1/3 of that.
Yep.
1/3 of the 2/3. So on a $1,000 to $1,200 ambulance run, Medicaid reimburses us about $200, which doesn't cover the cost of running the ambulance. So they're trying to cover the cost of running the ambulance, and we had 128 GEMT eligible runs in 2023, and the reimbursement on those 128 8, right? Is about $50,000. So
In the email I saw, you had alluded to the fact that there were some data points that we would not be able to meet that would make it hard for us to get awarded that grant.
Yeah, so when I read through, now the grant documentation is very long. I think it's about 80 pages. And
it's
when
not quite 80, but it
No,
feels
well,
like
it was close to 80. It was 76 or something like that it was. But anyway, the big grading points they're doing is NFPA 1710. So NFPA 1710 talks about our current ability to respond to fires and what our ability would be after the grant. They want you to meet NFPA 1710. We don't come remotely close to meeting it right now. And with the increased staffing, we might meet it if everything just kind of falls into place. Like if there's no ambulances out, Riverside can respond with auto aid, Wausau can respond with auto aid. If everything falls into place, we'll just meet portions of 1710. The other portion that we'll never be able to meet is they have a response time standard. And just the way our communities are made up, we can't get to places fast enough. They want you to be there in 4 minutes. So if there's God forbid a structure fire at your home, from the time that the tones go off to the time there's an engine parked in their yard, they want it to be 4 minutes. We geographically can't do that.
Wow.
But there are fire departments in the country that are, what was that one we saw? I think they were 12 square miles and they had 6 fire stations.
Yeah. I mean, so the village of Weston is roughly 21 or 23 square miles, I believe, for example, covered by 1 fire station. The city of Wausau is 18 and a half square miles. They have 3 fire stations. So it's just, it's impossible. It's not anybody's fault. It's not anything we can fix right now. It's just impossible for us to cover everything in the villages in 4 minutes.
But that doesn't mean that you won't necessarily get the grant, correct?
No, it doesn't. But
Okay.
they're looking for, they're gonna choose departments that can meet NFPA 1710, that meet NFPA 1582, which we are very close to meeting. And then they do it by population. They're gonna award the more populated areas first. Those are kind of their 3 main criteria that we're looking at, and unfortunately, we're not gonna score high in 2 of those 3.
So you're saying full staff would be 10 or 12, did you say?
With the additional staff, we'd be at 11.
Okay. So just breaking it down, that would be, well, 275 grand the first year, 275 grand the second year.
225, I believe it would be.
Yeah, and then out of,
225?
Yeah.
Okay.
and then out of that, 66 would be us.
And that's just
33% would be.
And then
The fire
carrying this to its ultimate year 4, now you're talking million.
You're probably looking at $1 million, yes, with employee raises and,
Oh, well, just as it is now,
Yeah.
not even figuring what's gonna,
yeah, yep,
what kind of bargaining happens in the future.
yes, yep.
But that also, like our staffing model right now, so our staffing model right now, we staff 2 ambulances and a portion of a fire truck, right? We have 2 guys on a fire truck in Weston. With the grant, we'll have a staffed engine in Rib Mountain, we'll have a staffed engine in Weston. So when we have a fire 2 blocks away and the ambulances are out, we'll have a staffed engine here for primary response, where right now we don't. And that actually will really help us on the grant. That's another thing that they look at is what is the grant providing, and us staffing an engine that's not staffed right now, that will be a huge plus for us. Taking 1710 out of it, that'll be a huge plus for us.
Yeah.
That we're,
I just wanted to, to be clear on the numbers. I'm not
Yeah,
against it.
absolutely.
The question I have to ask you guys, you say it's long, drawn out, a very extensive application.
yes.
You're willing to do this?
We already started it.
We already started
Okay.
it, and we've already done it once.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we did it. We filled it out.
I got a question. So where do you have to be in that first year to get that 75% back of what? 6 staff members, 9? I mean, do we
Right.
do we only get what we have hired? And at what point during the year do they say that's how many you had for the year?
It is 108, was it 180 or 120?
You get a 180-day recruitment period.
Yeah, so we have,
okay.
from the time that we get awarded the grant, they give us 180 days to hire.
All right, got it. Okay. And then whatever you have hired, then you get 75% of that back the first year.
I think you get 75% of the 9. no matter what you have hired, you have to be actively pursuing the 9, and as long as you're actively pursuing to fill those positions, you'll get the compensation for the positions. I believe that's how it works, but I'm not 100% on that.
Okay.
How about year 2? Year 2, the same thing, as long as you're actively going after.
Yeah, if you're not filled, as long as you're actively pursuing to fill those positions.
There's a fairly long part of the grant documentation that talks about that, because I think people are struggling so much to hire right now that they have a part of the grant laid out that discusses
I
that.
mean, it doesn't surprise me on how government works that they would pay without the employees actually there. So I just wanted to make sure that that's that we would at least not go backwards. Okay,
Yeah.
so 75 of the salary the first year, 75 the second year, and 35 the third year. Okay,
Yep.
Okay.
all right.
The other piece of the grant, just to bring up, because you had mentioned in year 5, what can we do? Keep in mind that the state of Wisconsin, we also were resetting our staffing level as far as the I don't know why I can never remember.
Maintenance of
Maintenance of effort goes. So if we would hire, we'd get the grant, we hire the 9, and then year 5, we say we don't have enough money and we get rid of even part of them, even one of them. We're not maintaining that one of 3 principles of maintenance of effort that we have to maintain in order to get shared revenue.
Okay,
So-
so there's the guarantee.
So you have,
the
we
government
would have to
guarantee.
keep them, yeah.
Okay,
If we,
all right.
if you even get rid of one of them, I mean, there's 2 other aspects of
You just
maintenance
gotta
of
yeah.
effort that you'd have to get. So there is some leeway in there, but that staffing is one of the big ones.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's staffing, it's budget, and
level of
it's
service.
or level, not
and res-
budget.
It's level of service, response time, staffing numbers.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's just another thing in there.
yeah.
But once the 9 were hired, you'd be able to staff 2 ambulances, 1 here, 1 in Weston, and a full engine.
3 ambulances.
We'd staff 3 ambulances and 2 engines.
And 2
Our engines would be staffed at 2, not 3. I mean, it depends on what a full engine is. So I would say a full engine is 3. According to NFPA, a full engine is 4. We would be staffing the engines at 2. And keep in mind, with the grant to get to the 11, that includes the interns. So the 3 per shift.
No, it includes the part-time, not the intern.
Oh, you're right. I apologize. Gets us to 11 with the part-time position, and then with the intern, we're at 12. So the engine in Weston would be staffed with 3. The engine here would be staffed with, no, we'd have 5 here.
Yeah.
So the
It'd be
engine
3.
here would be 3 also.
Yeah.
So the engine would be staffed with 3, and
Yeah,
then we'd have.
I'm gonna need some solid numbers for, or some solid speculation on this to present it to my board. I like the idea, to be quite honest with you. And I think transport can recover a lot of that
Yeah.
value. It is what it is, I guess, and the first couple of years shouldn't hurt, if it
No,
doesn't go
it's not
well.
too bad. Yeah.
Would everyone agree then that we should move forward with the grant process and apply, correct?
Yeah, is that a motion? I'll make the motion if we need a motion.
If somebody wants, I'll make that motion unless somebody else does.
I'll make the motion to apply.
I'll second it.
Okay. So we have a motion by Opal and a second by Cronin. Any more on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carried. Good, thank you. 5, any attorney referrals? None?
I'm almost getting to the point where I miss our attorneys.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost.
Almost.
And I guess we're looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
So moved by Cronin, second by Opal. And all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? So carried. We are now adjourned at 5:18. Wow, that was
Usually
fast.
these last an
All right.
hour, hour and a half.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you all very much.
This was kind of
Thank you.
short.
All right.
I think I waited in line of traffic longer than